Hi, and thank you for clicking on Jackie Live. This is a podcast about precious human existence. We will talk about things like relationships, creativity, joy, and much more. Stay tuned for additional shows and guest speakers. Tell me who you'd like to hear from in the comments below. And remember, life is precious, live balanced. Just to introduce you, now that we have completely digressed. So Hannah Anderson with Back in Line Chiropractic and Well Labs. Do you have any other businesses or ownership?
Yeah, I don't have other things I own, but I am a chiropractor at Back in Line, and I specialize in pediatrics and prenatal care, and I do a ton of nutrition. So running patients' lab work to see what exactly, which supplements they need and what are they deficient in and how is that playing into their metabolism. And then we started Well Labs to kind of fill that void of, so we have all these patients that need a high quality source for nutrition. And because we're physicians, we have access to something that's a higher quality. And so it was a great place for us to put that as an online platform so that people would have access to that no matter where they were.
Mm-hmm.
So anywhere in the US, because we were, having our friends and family call like, what should I go get at the department store? And we're like, nothing.
Yes.
You should get something from a doctor. So now we can do that online and have a good mission behind it. And then in my spare time, after I do all those other things, I teach anatomy and physiology at a community college. So yeah, I'm a nerd all around.
Yeah, I hear you. It was definitely interesting this week when my mom was going, so what can I make for you to eat at Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely understand that when it comes first. So talking about Well Labs a little bit, I have your website up here. It's mywelllabs.com. And it's kind of, I see that there's specific vitamins for specific purposes. It says allergies, gut health, multi and wellness, stress support, and there's kind of some more there. So I think the biggest thing for me, what I like about this is when I at first started looking at health, like you said, the department store, getting vitamins from a store. So I would buy just vitamin C. I would buy just each vitamin almost separately. And then I would look at the multivitamin and see that there was so many different things that were added into it. So that's kind of something I'm noticing about the items you have on your website.
Yeah, so it's interesting too. In the lab work that we run in our clinic, we can actually measure if someone's taking a supplement that has a lot of fillers and has kind of that junk, because it's not regulated by the FDA, which is kind of a blessing and a curse because you kind of don't want them breathing down your back.
Yeah.
But then it's like people who don't have the best intentions can kind of do what they please. So we've had patients come in and we take their lab values, and you can actually see when someone is on a supplement that's not a high quality, that's not physician grade, it can actually build up in their system, and they can measure that as just an acid level that is elevated in that person. So it's super interesting when someone comes in and they say, I've been on a multivitamin, so I'm super healthy, right?
Yeah.
But they're coming to us because they have issues and other symptoms, and they're like, well, why would I be deficient? I'm taking that in a multivitamin. Well, if it's not a high quality thing that actually is what the bottle says it is, then their body can't use it. So that's kind of the scary part of people just kind of willy-nilly picking what they would like to have. So, or what they think they should have without having it addressed a different way.
Yeah, I completely agree with quality. You have your, when Rob and I would go climbing or do something, and we have lower quality clothing, and you're climbing, things rip. Things don't work well. You want better quality for safety. There's so many other reasons to do higher quality also. That's always something that we continue to look at with the food we choose, or again, the supplements. The other thing that I was thinking about is that when you're taking some vitamins, isn't it true that they aren't necessarily as useful to you if they're not combined with another vitamin or if they are taken with a counterproductive vitamin.
Right. So we call those cofactors or coenzymes. Co basically means something needs a helper. So
Yeah.
we need certain helpers. Certain vitamins need certain helpers. So, like for instance, if you take your vitamin D, you have to have that with at least 5 grams of fat so that your body uses it. Like if you took vitamin D on an empty stomach or with water, something that had no fat at all, you wouldn't absorb it and you'd be, a waste of your money and a waste of your time that you spent thinking that you should take that. And so part of the mission of Well Labs is not only to, put out a high quality product and to be able to give back to people with our profits, but also to make this nutrition is so complicated and some people will just not take anything at all because they're so frustrated by the idea of like, I'm gonna have to research this and figure out what I need and all those like secret rules of what's its cofactor, what does it need.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the part of Well Labs too, is on our blog and in the material that you get with the supplements when you order them is we're trying to take all of those mystifying things out of the equation where we just tell it to you up front and put it in plain language so you're not reading through tons of research to try and figure that out. We're just telling you off the bat so you don't have to waste that time when sometimes it can start to feel like a full-time job for other people if they don't like science.
Yeah, 100%. I have, if you open up my cupboard where my vitamins are, I have a spreadsheet.
Yeah, seriously, it takes a spreadsheet.
Yeah, it says, like you said, vitamin D with fat. It says, don't take this one at the same time as this one. Take this in the morning. That was something that I thought was really helpful when I ordered your probiotic because I have, I'm constantly eating because I am preparing to be in a bikini in front of people, and so I just, exactly. So I would like to do it properly. And even when I'm not doing that, I'd like to know what to do. And I messaged you guys and I said, hey, the probiotic, it says with low, take it when you don't have food in your stomach, and because I constantly am eating. And it was just really helpful that they were able to, that I got a response back. And then I had my questions answered. So that was very helpful too. And knowing who's answering that, I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, and that's why we try to. I mean, it's kind of funny. We toyed with like, do we put Dr. Hannah or Dr. whoever on the website, and do we mention that Alexa's a nutritionist? And we kind of settled on that we needed to because the more that people know you and know that like we have the best intentions for everyone. So for people to be able to ask us questions is a huge part of it because that's kind of part of the whole thing is we just want to make it simple and relatable and not in crazy science terms that no one can understand.
Well, and it's interesting because everyone feels like they're different. Oh, my situation's different. And it is nice to be able to describe versus, you read the label. But sometimes there are different scenarios for different people. I do notice, kind of as you mentioned, there aren't there's no A through Z list of vitamins. So usually like when I started taking the vitamins years ago, I wanted to buy one of each or I wanted to get something. And you guys don't even have that as an option because it's not necessarily the best way to go. And so I see things like the D3 is plus K2. And I see that there is an adrenal well. There's a specific blend that you guys do, like you said, do the work for everybody.
Yeah. So the nice thing too about having such a high quality product is that that what's in each thing is always a high quality, but you also know that they're formulated to work. So adrenal well, for instance, if kind of going off the name, it's supporting your adrenal glands, which get completely depleted when you get stressed out. So we often have people come in to our clinic that they're not sleeping, they don't have an appetite anymore. And then once you kind of ask them what's going on in their life and they're like, I'm going through a divorce or like, I just switched jobs and all like kind of their heart just pours out and you realize that like, oh, they've been stressed for a very long time.
Right.
And we need to take care of that from a nutritional perspective. So that's the perfect blend of high quality herbs and vitamins to really help your body just be the best version of itself
Right.
during those stressful times. So.
Yeah. And the common, let's say someone is doing that and they're not reading the vitamin blogs and they're not doing this. Their knee-jerk reaction is like, well, I should just have more coffee in the morning.
Right.
I should.
Just going to further that cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
I should treat myself to something good for lunch because I'm stressed out and I deserve it.
I deserve pizza or a burger.
I know. And that, after my dad passed, of course, like you said, the nerd in us, I had my labs drawn maybe 2 weeks after he died because I knew I wanted to recheck in 6 months to see where I was at. And not everyone will do that.
No, and not everyone has like the time or money or the know-how. Like who would have thought, even me myself, as a physician, I still had to have someone else be like, you should probably run this test on yourself in order for me. Cause like my epiphany was, so I was on oral contraceptive for years that oral contraceptive, not that it's like, it's not the devil. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but it does deplete B vitamins from the female body. So probably 5 years I was on that. I went off because I didn't feel great and it wasn't a necessity anymore.
Right.
So a couple of years later, I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. I didn't think, I've just always been pretty generally healthy as soon as I started getting into a healthcare field. But so another physician suggested I draw my labs. I drew my labs and thought, well, I'm a physician. I'm super into wellness. I'm the epitome of health, like really selfishly. And then I got my labs back and my B vitamins were terrible. And then to make that correlation of, I spent years depleting myself and never thought to replenish. And even though getting your vitamins through food is the best thing, there was just no way I could eat enough. Like I just can't hold that much food to get enough B vitamins to get back there. So then I put myself in a B complex, which the methyl Bs from our mywellabs.com website was what I ended up taking. And that morning I went into the office and you would have thought I had like 5 espresso shots before I even got out of bed because I was just running around the office. I was like, today's a great day. I have so much energy. And I never felt like that. And it just goes to show you like how powerful that boost is of when you are depleted and then you get to replenish your body so that your body can be the best it can be. So that was kind of my personal like holy cow moment of not that I already thought nutrition was important. I was already so into it. And then to have it just directly affect me was huge and great.
I think the ebb and flow of a person's life can change what they need, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So if someone is feeling like they're eating a healthy diet, well, check, having labs done like that, or, trying some of the methyl B or something helps you see if you were deficient or not.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
So you didn't necessarily have anything happen in that moment to make you think, oh, wow, I might be deficient. Or, you were already eating a healthy diet. So you're thinking, I'm taking care of things. Everything should be fine. But little did you know, years ago, the damage was done.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's the difference too. A lot of people think that health is just you don't have a symptom.
Yes.
And I really like to focus on getting my patients from their, like, if our life capacity is 100%, I have patients that are maybe at 70% and they feel really good. And that's great, but they could be at 100 and just feel awesome and like they've never felt before if we took some more steps. So that was kind of, that's always my goal, to get people to like, well, if you could be better, like, let's just get you to being awesome.
Right.
That's a great thing.
I agree. That was something that I was talking with someone a couple of days ago about that. And, we were talking about vitamins or having something to assist you with your health. And we were just talking about the fact that, well, they wear glasses. We still ride in cars. We use things to help us achieve our goals. And if there's something that's healthy, good quality, then why not utilize it?
Yeah. And it's funny because once you frame it like that, it doesn't seem weird. But
Yeah.
then once you phrase it to someone like, hey, you might not be able to eat pizza every day.
Oh,
they're like,
that's hard.
you're in my personal space. Please get out.
Right.
Yeah.
I do agree. I know. Well, okay. It does also play on the purist that people would like. There's purist in baristas. There's purist in yoga. There's purist in, the vegan world. There's purist, and a lot of times they will either only do it perfectly or not do it at all.
Yes.
And and that was where I just don't I can't see myself holding back on things that can help me just because I can't do it perfectly with whole foods.
Right.
I would love to.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes.
If it was super easy.
Yeah, it would be wonderful. But if this is here and I am able to do it, I will. I'm not gonna hold myself back because I have pride.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And it is hard, because sometimes there's levels of everyone that does things differently. And I just think more the merrier. If it makes, at the end of the day, if it makes you healthier, then that's a pro, not a con.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I struggle with diets. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I go speak to corporate wellness things or something like that, it's kind of my number one point I want to get to everyone is like, we don't all have to eat the same, and that's totally fine.
Right.
You have a vegan friend, that's cool. Like, you don't have to eat that way. You don't have to eat paleo. Because everyone's body is different. So there's just no way, like, humans were not
Right.
carbon copied one on the other. So, I think that's, again, where people get really idealistic about eating. And, there are so many books and podcasts and everything where people are like, everyone needs to be vegan. And then like, what happens when vegan backfires on you? And not just like bash vegans. That's totally cool if that works for people. But it's like that you could apply that to anything. You could apply that to like low carb people. So yeah, you just have, and that's kind of the part that is frustrating to people is that you do have to take time to figure out what's right for you. So you can't get frustrated in that process, which I think is where they're like, I tried that. It never worked.
Yes.
Like, well, try something else.
Right. I agree. And I eat, I would say 90% vegan. Mm-hmm. So my proteins are vegan, which is when I was 25, my cholesterol was 261.
Yeah.
So I am trying to avoid that or having anything in the future. Things that happen are a wrap at a restaurant is going to be probably made with egg, flour, butter,
Something secret. Yeah.
Right. So I am okay with that. I definitely think that it's helpful for people to add plants, but if they want to keep some meats, then that's fine. For me, it's kind of turned into an ethical concern as well.
Well, and if you just feel like if you personally feel better eating that way, then bingo, you found it.
Right, exactly. And that, I agree with that. I don't think that it's a one size fits all or, this is the only way, marching with my poster board, angry, for me, it's, this is when I feel good. This is what, my gut feels better when I do this. For so many years, my physician thought I had Crohn's or IBS. And then my cholesterol came out and I said, well, I'm going to remove dairy for my cholesterol purposes. And magically, I no longer had bowel issues, and so it was kind of like, oh, well, that was very eye-opening. And that's kind of when I started looking into my own health also. Because ultimately, again, I'm responsible. So, and that's when the vitamins came in and I was buying the, grocery store variety. And it is interesting because ultimately, those could potentially just be, I could be spending more money doing that and not benefiting as well versus having something that I benefit from.
Right. And that's, it's interesting because, so this is kind of a nerdy example, but like, I keep going back to B vitamins because there's so many. They started, numbering. I don't know if they thought they were going to run out or what, but B9 is folate or folic acid, which a lot of women know that's in their prenatal if they need it, but kind of talking about, using your money wisely when it comes to health. 50% of the population can't handle B9 in that folic acid form. Like just genetically, they just have a gene where they can't handle it. And so they don't use it, and it builds up and kind of backstops their body. But pretty much everyone can handle it in that folate form. So a lot of times there will be the grocery store version or, just whatever, just not a physician grade version or even some physician grade versions, honestly, will have folic acid. Well, unless you have that genetic test and know that you can process that or you can't, then you could not even be absorbing it or not even be using it. And of course, no one's just going to run and go get a genetic test real quick so I can make sure I'm buying the right vitamin. So it's things like that where it would just be better if everyone took folate so that we just knew it applied to more people.
Right.
So it gets as specific as that. And how are people supposed to know that? So, right? It's just a weird detail that who in their right mind would know that there's two kinds of B9 in the first place. And then that one of them applies to more people. And those are just it's not common knowledge. And so that's why it's, better to go to people who know those things.
Right. That I completely agree. I think it's very helpful now that there's more social media around nowadays.
Yes. Yeah.
Because before it was, like a textbook or something, or what was that? The Dewey Decimal System, looking in your library at school. And who knows if that information is even in there and who would go just hang out and, look through books.
Yeah.
Now we can look online. The information comes right to us. I think that has been a huge help for just the health generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to kind of switch topics here, but lastly, again, looking at the website, mywellabs.com. So you guys have some holiday special going on.
Yeah, so we have a liquid vitamin D that's really good. Vitamin D is kind of like our sunshine vitamin. It keeps us happy, especially in the winter, which is the struggle now, right? Because my husband and I this morning were just talking about that's great, but whenever we get home, it's already dark and it's 4:30. So yeah, we've been going through the vitamin D very quickly. But our vitamin D is great. It's tasteless, odorless. It's kind of like one of those ninja vitamins,
right?
From parent perspective, because you could put it anywhere in your kids' food and they would never know, which is kind of what I do to my husband also. I'm just secret, it's in your water and I didn't tell you.
Yeah. The thing, do you see, so you would suggest for husbands slipping that or letting them know that you're putting it in something? Because
I don't mean to be deceptive.
No.
My husband just hates to swallow a pill. So I'll just do it for him because I would so much rather I just did it than to have to remind him.
Well, see,
and he's cool with it. It's not I'm not that sneaky. He knows what's happening.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because I will bring home something that has, X amount of servings, 75 servings or something. And Rob, bless his heart, very Texan of me, it's gone in a week or two, when it should be a couple months. So that's something, I am the precise one of that.
Right, yeah.
And so then I can see myself getting this, and then this would be in the back of the cupboard. And I'm your B vitamins are already ready,
Yeah, so what's good is you mentioned the sale. And so for all of December, our vitamin D is buy one, get one free, which is kind of a big deal because that's a $30 savings, which is for something that lasts a long time. That bottle in particular just lasts a very long time. And so to get it now before winter hits full on,
right,
is a really good time. And then two, when you purchase anything from our website, we give 10% of that purchase. It goes back to making lifestyle medicine. So preventative care types of things like nutrition and fitness and dealing with stress and things like that. It makes lifestyle medicine accessible for underprivileged children who wouldn't have access to it otherwise. So kind of not kind of, we are definitely in this huge healthcare crisis. It comes up all the time on the news because we have all of these unhealthy adults, and most of that cost is actually spent on preventable diseases if we were to modify lifestyle factors.
Correct.
But a lot of people just don't know. And so our goal by being able to provide that to children who can't afford it is that we're going to make healthy kids that grow into healthy adults.
Right.
And so it's kind of remarkable, but 15 million kids face food insecurity every day, which is like they don't know if there's going to be food on the table, which is super scary.
Right.
So if they don't know if there's even going to be food, like who knows if they're going to get healthy food. And if they're not getting healthy food, are they having someone teach them about, how to deal with stress? Are they having someone teach them how to cook? Are they having someone teach them why it's good to get outside and exercise? And so there's just lifestyle things that kids aren't getting taught. And so it's perpetuating that cycle of unhealthy kids turning into unhealthy adults, which is furthering this healthcare crisis, when really, if we could get that installed at an early age, things would be so much better.
Well, and people want to learn more, do more. They're more cognitive, active when they feel better.
Right.
So if you can kind of do that, that's kind of, when my dad passed away, I had different things that, of course, my adrenals went low, different things that happen. And when you're kind of deficient or you're beat down, it's hard to get back up there with all food, all done through food. Right. So the lifestyle, the different things, helping them become healthier, feel better is a nice additional motivation.
Yeah, absolutely too. And I think most people, especially my generation, we're more inclined to do something if it's going to be bigger than ourselves.
Right.
So when you're buying from our website, it's not that you're just getting something for yourself. You're doing something bigger than that. You're providing for children that need it.
Right.
And for a good reason. It's not, we're not just going to go buy them like swag and t-shirts and stuff like that. We're making sure that they get practical help or information. Right. So.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't you feel good? You're like, oh yeah, feel good.
I know, right? I know. I've been staring at my shopping cart, and I'm just waiting for Rob to see if he wants to add anything on, because sometimes we get double of things so that he can keep some at his office.
Yes. Yeah. I have like a purse vitamin D, and yeah.
Exactly. I love it.
Travel size. Yes.
Yeah. So kind of just to talk about you also. So you did, and I don't remember how long you did it, but you ran every day for how long? You and your husband.
Yes.
And were you married at the time? Or you?
Yeah, we got married right after undergrad. So we've been married for a couple of years now. And we're pretty competitive. And I basically set out the goal of last year. So this would have been like New Year's Eve of 2013. I was like, I'm going to work out every day next year.
Oh my gosh.
And some kind of workout, nothing crazy. I wasn't going to run 10 miles every day, but I just wanted to see if I could do it. And my husband, being super competitive, and he decided that he was going to do it with me. So we did. I mean, and it took a lot of time management, because we not only, if we weren't feeling well, then we would do things like, let's go to a very calm yoga class. So we changed it so we weren't, overusing certain muscles, which can be bad too. And so we did just certain things to accommodate any level of. Luckily, because we were working out every day, we didn't get sick hardly at all. I don't ever remember being sick that year, which is kind of crazy. So we would change it and adapt it, but also like we went on a couple flights, and like our flight would leave at 6 a.m. So we were up at 4 a.m. to, do 30 minutes in the hotel gym before we left. And so it was when we were traveling, it was the hardest.
Right. Oh, I
And at
agree.
the time, we lived in an apartment where the gym was literally right below our apartment. So we just had to walk down 6 steps. And so that made the whole thing so much easier. We didn't even have to drive to the gym. That was a super game changer. But to be able to like do stuff in airports and at our friend's house, like Thanksgiving we spent with friends that year, and we were like, we're gonna go for a run. We'll see you guys in 20 minutes to eat Thanksgiving. And they're like, you're an insane person.
Nice.
And one time I remember we had gone with my immediate family. We went just kind of on like a weekend trip somewhere, and we were out to dinner, and I look at my husband, we realize it's 10 o'clock at night.
No.
And we're like, it's 10 o'clock. We haven't worked out yet. And kind of like the terror struck our face of like, is this going to be the day where we don't do it? So we left. We'd been there since like 6 o'clock. Like my family just has really long dinners because we talk a lot.
Yeah.
So he'd been there for like 4 hours. We're like, we're going to go for a run around this random city because we were not home. So we went for a run around town, and like we're running by the restaurant we had just been eating at. And my brother and his girlfriend are just like, you're insane. You are aliens.
That is awesome. I love it.
But we still did it. So it was kind of a fun thing we could do together. And then I ended January 1st, and I was like, I'm done. Like that was a super great goal. And then my husband kept going for like 22 days because he wanted to
He's
upstage
competitive.
me. Yeah. And he totally did. Which is fine. I'm glad that he was able to do that.
Well, that's good. I know it's interesting when you have a goal and it's specific, and like when you make it known that you have a goal, when you
you have to be super accountable. If people like my parents and our friends would be like, oh, did you work out today? And you have to be like, yeah, I already got it done, or like, no, sorry, I'm gonna have to go. There were a lot of 11:30 workouts that barely made the cutoff. It happened.
That is awesome, though. Congratulations on that. That was the year of the run,
right? Seriously.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for coming today.
Yeah,
thank you
absolutely.
for filling us
Thanks
in
for
on.
having me.
Yes, thank you for filling us in on Well Labs too, and we got to talk about Back in Line. And you guys were also a part of Shiro, which was incredible. So I want to thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of wanted to see if there are any last minute things that you wanted to let us know that are upcoming news for 2016. If you want to send people to the website, and that's where the blogs will be at, and that's where any upcoming specials, additional items.
Yeah. So one new thing that's going to come in 2016 for our website, actually the most visited thing on our website, which is kind of cool because you can see like a heat map of where people are clicking, is our quiz. So our quiz that you can take, you can go to mywelllabs.com, and just if you scroll down just a little bit, there's a blue box that says take our quiz and kind of find out which supplements you need. That helps walk you through that process of your gender, your age, your lifestyle. Are you stressed out? Are you these other things? Mm-hmm. That kind of helps point you in the direction of what might be a good place for you to look to start with your nutrition. So in 2016, we're going to add a couple more specific quizzes. One particularly to do with thyroid health, which is kind of a hot topic right now. But if there are other things, I guess, that people would like to have, it'd be like, hey, I would like just a women's health quiz, or I would like something like that. That's feedback that we can take. If people want to contact us or reply to one of our newsletters. If you sign up for our newsletters, you get free shipping on your order, but you also get kind of these weekly wellness freebies and updates. Like we had a guided meditation sent out. We have recipes that sent out, fitness tips, just kind of some free cool stuff like that. That's like, oh, this would be really nice if someone made it. And we did. We made it for you.
That's awesome.
It's free. So those are kind of the perks in what's coming. So I would love feedback from people because I love quizzes. Like I'm on BuzzFeed all day. Taking quizzes about like, what 90s movie character are you? Like, I don't know. I need to know though. So if people want to see more quizzes, that'd be great to get that feedback.
Awesome. So what we can do is have people just leave their suggestions in the comments, or sending them over to Well Labs, just direct to you guys.
Our contact page is on there, and you can, once you send it there, they can send it to the right person.
Okay. Well, it looks like I just took the quiz. It looks like I need Adrenal and Well Omega. So, so it's that time of year. It's getting a little busy, some adrenal support. So Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we will hear more from you next year. And you guys are doing some awesome things. And we're really proud of you. And you're definitely something special to have in our community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for additional shows and guest speakers. Tell me who you'd like to hear from in the comments below. And remember, life is precious. Live balanced.